Okay. Well, let's make this the last one tonight. Okay. So this is Charousek against Jakob Wollner, played in Kaschau 1895. So Charousek was white. So e4, King's Gambit. Accepted. Bishop c4. So inviting this Queen h4 check line wasn't played. Bishop e7 was played. d4. So white's already got good central control. Look at these pawns. You know, the central squares are pretty good here, yeah? Good central control. So even if you don't get a hack attack, you know, this position's okay. You've got very nice central control. The knight's being driven off its normal location. Bishop d5. Okay, where's this knight going now? Check. Moving pieces twice. It's not a good sign. Two pieces have been moved twice. Knight f2. Okay. Greed. Not trying to go for a rook. But what about f7? What about queen h5? These are points of attack. So queen h5. Okay. So here, I mean, it looks to me that even a move like knight f3 would be good. Just giving up the rook, just to play knight takes h4, and then just munch the knight after. I mean, even that would seem good here in this position. In fact, was it played knight f3? g6? Was the rook munched now? Yes. So he just takes. I mean, this looks as though the king's going to be carnivorous. It's going to munch this knight. There's also, of course, the threat now of knight takes g6, queen g6, bishop h6. So c6. Okay, does he do something? There's also maybe even bishop g5, and if takes, then bishop g5. But possibly f6, because the king is on the f file. He does take. Okay. So the king on the f file, he doesn't mind his king on the f file for this potential f6 resource. Takes. So what has he got up his sleeve? Maybe, okay. Maybe it's something slower, knight c3 takes d5 to f6, or is it just simply bishop g5? If he can get bishop g5 to f6, that's end of game. g7 will be end of game. If black seemingly can play f6 and sack the exchange, then black might have chances. The queen actually might coordinate with the knight in the worst case scenario. Knight f5. Whoa. Whoa. Mate threat immediately on g7. So the knight has to be taken. So the knight has caused a blockade of the f file. Because look, if there's a pawn here, this f6 is less effective because there's no f file against the king. See that? If we have a pawn on f5, that would favour us for bishop g5. Because if f6, you can just you know, maybe take it. Okay. Does he play bishop g5 here? Or maybe, I don't know, maybe this rook can come out? Can this rook come out? Or is it bishop g5? Or is it knight c3? Takes d5, bit slow. Bishop g5, you can imagine f6. But then e takes f, and then you're on g7. And how would black defend g7? So maybe it's as simple as bishop g5 here. Bishop g5. Because it's the knight sack has done the job. This pawn's protecting the king on the f file. So e takes f looks crushing here. Or bishop f6. Okay, it's given an opportunity for rook f7. That was the same with ef. There was still rook f7. So after rook f7, I wonder how the pressure is going to be increased. Oh, rook takes f6. Ah, maybe he's got the idea to play queen f8 to defend g7. Okay, so queen f8 defending g7. Check. So, materially, you know, rook and knight and queen, but black has two extra pieces. But this pawn can be considered to be a piece. This form pawn is often very dangerous. So what's going on here? Knight c3, the knight's pouncing immediately on d5. Black isn't in a position to stop knight d5, it seems. This knight's totally out of play. So knight d5's happening. Queen g8. Whoa! Oh, a nasty, nasty, nasty tactic. This pawn is like an extra piece. So if takes, we have check. The queen will be forced to move back, and then f7 will be absolutely crushing. Do you all see that? I think that this spells the end of the game. If this rook e1, and these pieces are just ready to pounce in to the black position with this pawn with f7. Check. Bang. Was that the end of the game? That was the end of the game. Why not an immediate f7? Here, an immediate f7 couldn't black just take? Is that possible? When the rook is on the e file, when the rook is on the e file, he just gave up his queen here. So you must mean this position, yeah? But you can just take. No? Where do you mean? Sorry, what do you mean? Instead of knight c3, anything instead of knight c3? When the rook is on the e file, the rook's on the e file, yes? Okay, we've got the rook on e file. It's black to move, the smoking gun. So what's your suggestion? What's your idea? He's just left his queen hanging on g5. I think black's dead. I said I think black's dead here. Okay, let's see. Instead of queen takes g5, let's get an engine perspective just to make sure black is dead. Okay. Black looks to be dead. Let's say knight c6. Ah, you just play rook e8. Look at this. So if queen takes, you just play queen g7. Mate. After knight c6. Move the pawn forward here, possibly. Oh no, queen takes f7. You've blown it. Look, black's better. You've just blown it. Got to be careful. The move that will be winning here is rook e8. So just to get the mate on g7. So it was a brilliantly conducted game. Crotail writes, what smoking means is that white after queen takes queen Can't white play that immediately? So after the queen takes the queen, so you're saying f7 here. So rook e8 is the winning move. You're saying f7 here. Whoa, look at this. Minus 12.91. That's why. Look at this knight and f2. Check. So you're going to get mated if you play like this, because look, check, mate. And if king e2, king g7 apparently. The pawn's not going anywhere. The king's going to eat the pawn. That would be a disaster. Total disaster for how to blow the position. If you want to spectacularly blow the winning position, you've still got to play kind of accurately, because there are these like pieces lurking around still. So in this sort of position, you just want to emphasize the pawn with g7. Just bear that in mind. You want to emphasize the pawn attacking g7. So rook e8 is a fantastic little decoy here. Or here just check, drive the queen back, so there's no queen f4s. You drive it back and then you like attack it again, queening. So even if these pieces were like this, it would still be hopeless. You'd be threatening, you know, taking queening, taking mate. It's totally you know, winning. So that was an interesting game. Let's stop that there. Yeah, very good question. Yeah. All right, we'll stop that one and maybe find another game if anyone's still keen. Okay.